3, 2, and we are live. All right. Well, Joshua, it's been an interesting couple of days. Again, waking the people. Sir Chad Ebro, cheers. On the other side of the camera, now if you're on the YouTube channel watching this, you'll actually see that handsome son of a gun of the man that only Prince would sing about, Joshua, my crack and your patriot, McClendon. Welcome back to another episode. Let's get after it, man. We don't have a whole lot of time. We're doing 2 episodes again this week, as we promised that we were going to be doing all month long. And we decided also that since Joshua is going to have a bit of a travel schedule here in the next couple of days, we're going to knock it out today and tomorrow, and then we'll keep going, baby. So with that, Joshua, we've got a couple of topics here. We got Musk versus Portnoy, Texas death rate, and a mass shooter stopped by a man with a 2A attitude. Welcome. All right, let's get after it, baby.
Right? I mean, in today's world, none of those titles should surprise you. It's just the craziness that we continue to live in. Thank you guys for coming back. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I can't say it enough how Chad and I appreciate so much everyone's dedication to the show and just kind of helping us push along this path that Chad and I had ventured down for episode number 26. We're on 26. We're gonna do today, tomorrow, like Chad said. But yeah, we got some Twitter some Twitter battles, Chad. That's always really entertaining to watch. We have some stuff in Texas, which I think, if given enough time, could be actually a deterrence to gun violence. So I can't wait to hear about that. And then also some of these topics, Chad, I have yet to read into, so I can't wait to see my reactions.
I like it. Just like we promised, we don't really talk a whole lot about what we're going to cover when we do the show. We just tell each other, hey, this may be a topic we're going to cover, but not exactly any substance to that topic or a particular viewer slant, direct, whatever we feel about that particular subject. We really don't talk about that so much. We do have conversations about other stuff, but we typically leave this so we can give a genuine reaction. So, all right. You want to start off with the Musk and the Portnoy throwdown?
Let's do it. Yep, little Twitter battle. I'm new to Twitter. I've probably only been on Twitter for a month. And I only got on Twitter just to see all the trolling and the Twitter battles and the news and the crypto stuff for all my crypto listeners. So this is kind of sparked by crypto. We talked about in the show not too long ago, Elon saying that Tesla will no longer be accepting Bitcoin as payment for their cars. And Dave Portnoy, who, if you're not sure who he is the president of Barstool Sports on Instagram. They have a betting platform. He's the pizza review guy. A lot of people know him as the pizza review guy. That's actually how I first came about Dave. And him and Elon, Chad, they're starting a war. Now, we know that Elon has really been hyping Dogecoin for a long time. And due to his recent kind of pullback, I guess you could say, in the crypto space, that's got a few Doge investors feeling a little uneasy about what they've been buying into. So Dave Portnoy went yesterday on Barstool Sports and was going to do a live announcement of what crypto he is going to be backing. That he didn't go out and say outright, Chad, but he's trying to compete with Doge and he's trying to compete with Elon, in my opinion. So he went with SafeMoon. SafeMoon. I'm not going to talk about the crypto. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So if you choose to buy in to SafeMoon, go do your research on it. Maybe go watch Dave's video, even though it was more comical, like all of them are, instead of informational. But so we got SafeMoon, Chad. SafeMoon, I feel like it could take a little bit, but will be Dogecoin's rival moving forward. And I can't wait to see how much both of these guys start pumping all of their resources into these hype machines.
Yeah. A little bit of what I found out about SafeMoon. Now, if this is the same one, I have a friend of mine that's actually like, he's just out, trying to find, like what's the next one. And if he can take $5 and throw it into one that is currently valued at 0.000035 or something like that, then he's going to have millions of shares. So maybe I'm off on the math and I'm not doing that right now, but that's his mindset. You take $5, really. I mean, you could spend $5 in the men's restroom, really, buying some novelty condoms for all we know. But with that, he just throws it over there that way. So he mentioned, I believe what he said was Space Moon, but he may be, because of my aging ears, he might have been saying Safe Moon. So if this is the same one, they actually have a built-in penalty system for paper hands. So anybody, like Joshua's term, I don't know if it's actually an industry term or not, because I'm a newbie in this, but I am interested. And paper hands be somebody who's just trying to, buying the dip, selling at the peak, back and forth constantly, just swapping and trying to, make it big off, short investment cycles. But if Safe Moon is the right particular one, Space Moon or Safe Moon, it is Safe Moon.
Yeah.
If you try to do the paper hands deal, the way they have it built into the system, that when you go to sell, 10% of whatever it is that you get from your stock would be given back to and distributed across the other shareholders. So if that's accurate, is that what you know about Safe Moon?
Yep, that's right.
So I kind of like that. So it lowers the paper hands people, the paper hand dragons, every time we turn around, they're just trying to move quick, like Kung Fu style on it. Bruce Lee. But so it does disincentivize those individuals that would cause the stock to fluctuate consistently at a pretty volatile pace, to at least reduce their exposure to the stock itself. So it's not giving these unbelievable volatile spikes and dips. So like with what we've been seeing with Doge recently, which is a lot of volatility. But anyway, I'm not here to give you advice, neither is Joshua, but we are here to give you some insight. And if you get any kind of entertainment out of this, or you decide you're going to stroll on down and purchase your own shares, that's all on you, not on us. You are a completely sentient human being. And if you're not, turn this video off. Okay.
Here's what else I've noticed, Chad. This is kind of funny. Actually, it makes sense just due to the current circumstances we've lived in for the last year and a half. But I'm finding now we have Safe Moon entering the arena of hype, which actually it's been in the arena of hype for a while. Actually, for like the past month, Safe Moon has been #1 on the most searched cryptos or new cryptos. So Safe Moon, it's been around. I think it was formed in February, so it's still very new. But we have Safe Moon entering the arena, and we've had Doge, which have had this really, really big push up the last year. And people who are Doge owners are still, or were, depending on your current feeling about the situation, were Elon backers. And now we have Safe Moon being like a Dave Portnoy backer. And I've talked to people who have Dogecoin, and I may or may not have had Safe Moon for a while, but I may have lost it in a boating accident. But when I talk to them about Safe Moon, Chad, now, when I talk to them about Safe Moon, they diss it. They're like, "Oh, Safe Moon's like ass, like it's got no value." This is Doge. Remember, this is Doge now. This is it's that tribalism, Chad. Now, not with me. Now, am I a little, upset that I was not there in time for Doge? Absolutely. But the tribalism is spawning off into other aspects of our lives, not just in politics.
Oh God, I know, man. Yeah. One of the things that most people don't know, and if you don't know this about Doge, you're about to find out. Doge just started off as a meme. It was started off to make fun of certain groups. So it's now become something that you can actually invest in and possibly make money off of. But here's the thing, since Doge actually started to see some success, now they're talking about building an infrastructure under it similar to Ethereum. If they end up doing that, fantastic. That's awesome. Wanting to build in some blockchain technology type things underneath. So it turns it into more of a functional crypto versus just being a meme. So if they make it, I hope so. Awesome. And it will have long lasting value versus the meme. So at the moment, I personally know people. One friend of mine actually sold a bunch of his shares, and he got over $60,000 off of his investment. So, but he bought whenever it was at like 0.000036 or whatever the hell it was whenever he bought in, but he got a crap ton of them. And he also told his family about it. They bought a crap ton of them. So yeah, and he still has left over. So it's just, if you get there on time, then you may actually find that you're in, you might actually have a pretty decent place, a pretty decent opportunity there. So just be wise with it. Don't invest more than what you need, and make sure that you can pay your damn bills. It's not a get rich quick thing. My dogs like it though, as you can hear them in the background. They like Doge is our currency, and they're throwing down the Michael Bolton, Michael Vick School of Dog Obedience. They're both graduates. So anyway, that's a joke, by the way, for any people out there that like to get your panties in a wad. Yeah, joking. My dog was not trained by Michael Vick. But Michael Bolton, she's got sweet, sweet pipes.
Mm-hmm.
She's just there, damn.
This is what I think, Chad. So Bitcoin is the king of crypto. It like wherever, like watch the chart. Whenever crypto's down, I almost guarantee that Bitcoin is down exactly similar, just because of how large Bitcoin's market cap is. Now, as we move through this crypto world, I think we're going to have a lot more of these, startup coins that people are going to try to pump. I think that whereas Bitcoin is the king of all crypto, Doge will somehow be the king of like the meme hype cryptos, and that where Doge goes, just because I feel like different people invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum than people invest in SafeMoon or Doge. Even though some people have both, like the whales, at least some of them, are still kind of skeptical of this whole crypto space. You're going to have, the hedge funds, the people with the real money going into the Bitcoins and the Ethereums just because they're already proven to have value, or some of the meme coins that the big institutions are not in there yet. But if Dogecoin can have some success, you may see that start to change. So I guess it's going to take some time and let this whole new ecosystem develop.
Yeah, well, it is still very early too. It's a young situation. It's not, hell, Bitcoin's only been around. It's still less than 20 years old. So it's the whole thing is a young concept in the overall economy. So, at some point in time, though, like Bitcoin has proven its value over time, that it does have some substantial standing. Ethereum is right along behind it. It's a pretty big gap between the two, but they're behind it. It's coming up. So, I mean, if you would have bought Ethereum at, even if it was 0.003 right now, you would be sitting, if you would have put, hell, even $1 in at that point in time, you would be sitting, I'm not going to do the math right now, but I'm going to say that you're likely close to a millionaire, if not actually a millionaire. Joshua, you doing the math over there?
Yeah.
That's a great thing about being more than one person on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, if you would have put, let's say you would have put $100 in, Chad, at 0.01. I just did 0.01. Okay, so that's actually for a crypto's lifetime to get to a 0.01. That means it's been around for a little bit. If you would have put $100 in at 0.01, and just on actually a lower price than I think Ethereum currently is, just with that investment, now it'd be worth $34 million.
Jesus.
And that was not that long ago. Like Ethereum is still kind of a baby too. People forget Ethereum was in the hundreds last year. Imagine if you would have bought 2 of those bad boys now.
Oh God.
That's a crazy investment.
Yeah. So, almost serious return on your investment. So
yeah.
All right. Well, there's quite a bit to talk about, but this show is not fully dedicated to crypto, but we do like to bring it up so we can at least give you a little bit more insight on some things and, expand it because again, this is waking the people. What are we waking you up in? There's a lot of subjects. So, all right. Do you have anything else for the crypto world before we move on to the next one?
No, I think we're good. So I want them all to go to the moon, Chad. We'll all go to the moon in every single one.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So the next subject. Now that we have all of these wonderful restrictions taking place that are slowing down our economy and our freedoms and threatening to take away freedoms, including our ability to travel without declaration of multiple things. If you've looked into some of the new restrictions that the airlines are putting on people, you have to actually have proof of vaccination, as well as some of them want to know your gender, the destination overall. There was one other criteria they were wanting to know. Off the top of my head, I forgot it. I do apologize. But this is expanding into restricting your freedoms and rights to privacy. So, as Bill Gates has recently said, I really hope that people would support our privacy in these times of need as we're going through our divorce. But you need to declare your health record to everywhere you go in order to have travel, but just get out of our business. So, all right.
I was just looking, Chad. I think I actually have to go and get a COVID test before I can fly on Thursday. It's got to be 3 days before.
I
didn't know that.
Look at that.
That's a Delta rule.
So now you have to actually have a negative test or proof of vaccination. And you probably still need to get the damn test with that damn thing anyway. So I bring that up because the black eye to this thing that we've been dealing with, this fear porn that we've been dealing with, the black eye is going to be the states like Texas and Florida, with us being really the representation of the free country called the United States, or formerly known as the United States, now whatever the hell you want to call it. The death rate in Texas was recently released. And if you're thinking, well, I wonder what it is. Now, the last reported death rate for Texas is not in the thousands. It's not even in the hundreds. Joshua, you have a guess where it's at?
As far as recent ones?
Yeah. No, the recent death rate, like right now, the last reported death rate for Texas.
I know for Texas, they update them so much. Let's see. Let's take a ballpark guess here. 1,500.
Ooh, you were trying to throw out some numbers, baby. All right, well, I would like for all of you at home to actually write down your answer, whatever you think that is. Hold firm now. Think about it. If you want to pause the video, for those that are watching it and it's not live, or if you like to plug your fingers into your ears, hold your breath, stomp around, acting like you're throwing a 3-year-old fit as you figure out what number before you write it down. However the hell it is you want to do your ritualistic behavior in order to actually get that number. It is 0.
Dang.
Texas just reported 0 deaths from COVID. So they're open. There's no restrictions, no mask mandate. They're back to business. They even have the sabotage attempts, in my opinion. What the Biden administration has been doing at the border is letting people through after a 72-hour hold, whether or not they actually have been tested positive for COVID, into the state without guidance or even really much of a reporting system. Oh, just get on in there to Texas. Texas ain't listening to me anyway. Get on now. You go on in there and you go shake some hands with some good Texans. Yeah. 0. Ah, California, New York. How y'all doing? Cuomo really did a great job, didn't he? Which that son of a bitch actually has sold many books on how to handle the pandemic. And the book released after the awareness, the public awareness of him pushing through the orders to send people to the nursing homes. And they've recently found out, as far as New York's news goes, that the death rate is actually higher in those nursing homes than they were actually reported to be. But you know what, how it works. Whenever you are living in the world of, I let the news educate me on exactly what's going on, you go from, oh my God, people died in nursing homes because the media told you to look over there, and then they played the shell game. Well, Cuomo, since you didn't want to listen the first time, this be the establishment or whoever the people behind the curtain is, he didn't play well, very well, apparently. And the next thing you know, the nursing home scandal was put out on television that there was a lot of people that had died from COVID in the nursing homes thanks to COVID's orders, or Cuomo's orders. And then all of a sudden he starts getting support again, but then they shift the attention over to the sexual allegations, which is easier to deal with than Nana not making it through the nursing home because Cuomo decided he was going to shove some people in there, even though the hospitals were not overwhelmed. He just did it because, you know what, in my opinion, he just needed a higher death rate so that the state could receive more funds, as well as the administration kind of needed to make Trump look really bad by the way he was handling the pandemic. So as far as that goes, you're educated by the news. Sorry. You did it to yourself. All right, back to Texas. 0. That's a 0. Florida also is reporting just wonderfully low numbers. And when I say one, let me take that back, because wonderfully low normal numbers on death rate is kind of shitty. Let me just say that Florida is reporting much lower rates as well, but yet we're supposed to lock everything down. What this does do, however, does make the states that are pushing these very restrictive orders on their citizens look horribly bad. You're giving up your economy, potentially your livelihood. You're giving up a lot because of the fear porn. Now, should you take it seriously? I think there's certain things you should take seriously. But one of the things I think you should take seriously is get up off your lazy ass, walk over to the TV, and do like my old man used to do back in the 80s. You push the little button and you turn the damn thing off, because you're not getting educated on the news. You're getting scared into position. So that's all I got to say about that for the time being. You have anything you want to say about the old Texas numbers? Is that any kind of insight? Any kind of, oh, how about that?
It's interesting. It's awesome. I'm so ready to put all this behind us and all the loss we've had as a country, whether it be lives, whether it be the economy, all the things we've had to suffer for the last year and a half because of this disease. It's awesome to be seeing that one of the worst parts of it start to decrease at a pretty fast pace. It's also very interesting that it's a state that had, some pretty laxed restrictions on its population, which is also pretty interesting. Can you even eat in California in a restaurant? Or are they still locked down? Or are they just doing still limited capacity?
I believe there's still a limited capacity. I have some friends in California that I'll have to get updated on that.
I think they are. I think there's still like a 25 or 50% capacity, which is insane. Hey, insane.
If we all do our part, we all get the vax, we could possibly have small gatherings of 4 to 6 people for July 4th.
Can you believe that some people think that, Chad? I've had people say that where I'm like, Florida's lifting. I believe we're lifting it. Is it June 1st? I believe it's around June 1st that Florida's lifting it completely. I know Walmart already said that they're not mandating it anymore. Publix isn't mandating it anymore.
Oh yeah.
Disney World too. I thought was pretty interesting that they were
and
the first one. And so I asked the Publix person today, Chad, because I quit wearing them. I just, if I'm not at work, I'm just not wearing it anymore. But he said, "Oh, it's if you're fully vaccinated." And I was like,
yeah.
Like,
when are we going to start hearing them go? When are we going to start hearing them go? Where's the papers?
right?
Where's
Yeah.
the papers?
Just, put let's just put a star on all the people that's been, hasn't been vaccinated, just so we know.
It's eerily similar, isn't it?
Interesting.
I mean, I'm not minimizing what happened then. I'm afraid for what this could turn into if we continue to allow them to do this. So, yeah, there's your papers. Yeah. Stupid bastards. Okay.
But
So,
good for Texas, good for Florida. Hopefully we can get this mess cleaned up. All the states that are shut down, you start doing your research. There might be a better way to do it.
yeah, turn off the TV and do a research elsewhere. You will appreciate it. You'll also find that you're less stressed because those bastards love to push that shit like it's a drug. Sad. All right. Also, here's one final thing on Texas. Well, not one final thing. I've got an article here in just a second as well. So did you see the picture of Matthew McConaughey standing out for, there was a photo op thing and he was like out hiking in Texas and he's standing on a structure. It's just natural formation and it looks like a bridge. So, and what he says is building bridges. And in the distance, now again, I really have liked Matthew McConaughey quite a bit, but I think his venture into politics may change my mind. Now, but he's standing there at a distance. Now he's wearing a white shirt. He's got obviously his book bag on. He's wearing shorts and he's posing for the photo. He's a bit in the distance and he's wearing a mask.
Outside?
Yep. And I guess it's the Grand Canyon or somewhere. He's yeah, I don't know exactly where it's at, but I know that he is elevated and you can see, a pretty decent depth below and to the distance behind him. So, yeah.
Who was he with? Maybe he was with like an elderly family member, or was it just him in the picture? Did it show anybody else
in the picture? No one anywhere near. You can't see anyone in the picture. And to give you a reference point, I would say the photo was taken probably at least at minimum 100 yards away from him.
Okay.
Well, there was distance between him and where the photo was taken, and you can just see he's wearing a mask. I'm like, dude, you don't virtue. You're wanting to run as a Republican.
He's new
for the seat, the governor's seat in Texas, and you're out in the middle of nowhere wearing a fucking mask. Know your audience, because the conservatives aren't going to vote for you. Not if that's the way you're going to try to play the game, but also not just that. It's also what he had to say about firearms. So he's like, certain firearms for self-defense, but there's other ones that are just not necessary. He's in Texas saying that certain firearms aren't necessary. Of all the fucking states, know your audience. You go there and you're like, you don't need it, large clips and AR-15s and the rest of this. They're going to be like, dude, you have never gone out to a hog ranch, have you? Or any ranch and had the hogs come up on you. Those feral hogs, by the way, they're dangerous creatures. So, and they do not give a damn if you're a person. They will charge you, and they do have tusks, and they will lay your ass open. You don't even have to necessarily threaten them directly with force. You could just be close to a pack of them. And yeah, they will absolutely come after your ass. Hog hunting is dangerous stuff. So, and it just being out there hanging out. Yeah, there's not one or two. There's packs of them could get in the hundreds. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, know your audience, Matthew McConaughey. Know your audience. Oh, sorry about that, Jenny. Clips do go in your hair. Magazines. Yes. Thank you.
You can't use no 22 out there with all those hogs running up on you. That 9mm, they just laugh at. Yeah.
No, man, I'm gonna use my airsoft. That'll take them down.
You got to have something with some firepower for that. But yeah, he's new, Chad. We got to give him some time. He's not really sure what he's doing just yet. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Did he have like anything political in the picture, or was it just political references? Probably
no.
just. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the message itself on his posting was more political without being political. It's like building bridges. It's obviously a staging statement that goes into unifying for obviously his next step into politics. So I actually, again, I have liked him. I've liked him for almost, I don't know if I've watched anything that he's ever been in that I didn't like with his acting. I think he's always done a really good job. But now that he's getting into politics, I think that this may be a really bad move for him unless he gets truly educated in politics. Because it sounds like the specific take that he has on 2A and then the mask in vast open spaces may actually end up giving him a direct pushback to have him not spend any more money on the campaign trail, because I don't think he's going to do very well in Texas. So, and if he does do well in Texas, it'll likely be because of the people that moved out of California into Texas, because it won't be Texans that actually try to support him, especially if Abbott runs again. However, whatever kind of job Abbott's done, I would not say he's done a bad job handling the way things are going on necessarily. So at this moment, I think he would be a pretty good candidate to reelect. But we got to know more. And also, I don't live in Texas, so I solely have an opinion on it. I don't have a vote in it. So, yeah. All right. Take off your goddamn mask, McConaughey. You're all alone, buddy. All right. So, moving on to the next subject. This will be the last one for the evening, or for this episode, since you could be watching it any time of day. But this will be the last one. And this happens to be one you're not going to see on mainstream media. And if you do see it on mainstream media, I will be shocked, because this goes completely against the narrative. So, on Saturday, this last Saturday, which, hold on, I'm going to give you all a date. On the 15th.
Look you up.
So May 15th, we had the title on this article. By the way, you have to dig like crazy to find these kind of articles because they get buried because they don't work with a narrative. And if that doesn't tell you there's a narrative, turn off the TV and start researching. Or tune into Waking the People and we'll help you find some shit. You're welcome. Okay, now, good guy with a gun stops mass shooting. Now, this one is, if you want to find the article yourself, it's on concealedcarry.com. I don't care if people find that to be a credible one or not. I don't give a shit. Grow the fuck up. Just because it's not CNN or MSNBC doesn't mean that it doesn't have credibility. Okay. And actually, if it's on those networks, it doesn't have credibility, most likely. All right. So here we go. A psychopathic killer intent on committing a mass shooting was stopped by a legally armed citizen in a Fort Smith, Arkansas apartment complex early Saturday morning. So the killer, a resident of the complex, exited his apartment on the morning of May 15th, 2021, and began shouting. Speaking of the shooter, a resident of the complex called Janie Pugh said he was yelling and screaming, "You guys get out here. Come out here. Everyone get out of this building right now." Witnesses said that several residents came out of their apartment to see what was happening. They saw the killer was armed with a rifle and ran back inside their apartments. One of the residents who came outside and to investigate was 87-year-old Lois Hicks. Now, when Hicks realized the killer was armed, she ran back into her apartment, but the killer got inside before she could close the door. The killer shot and killed Hicks inside of her apartment. Residents told the reporter that the killer shot indiscriminately into various apartments. However, he was apparently unable to gain access to any apartments and no one was injured, except for the woman that obviously was killed. Now, responsibly armed citizen stops killer is another one of the little line items here. While the killer shot into the dwelling at will, a resident of the complex armed himself with his hunting rifle. The type of firearm used by the shooter and the type of hunting rifle is currently unknown. Now, the Good Samaritan fired his hunting rifle, striking the killer, striking and killing. Sorry, I'm learning to read today. Striking and killing the shooter before he could harm and terrorize anyone else. While everyone may not appreciate a good guy armed with a gun, the residents sure do. untold reporters. If he, Good Samaritan, didn't do that, who knows how much worse it could have gotten. I think it's quite clear how much worse it could have gotten. Thank God for the focus and willingness of the Good Samaritan to intervene with appropriate life-saving force. We mourn the tragic loss of Miss Hicks while being grateful for responsibly armed citizens who intervene to save lives each day. Now, let's sit and consider for a second. One of the things that, now, if you would have actually, let's say that this gentleman did not come along and, stop this other guy from shooting people. It's very clear with his intent. He tried to get as many people out of their apartment as he possibly could so that he could shoot them. Unfortunately, he made his way in and got into this woman's apartment, Miss Hicks' apartment, and he shot and killed her. If it was not for the other individual, that guy would have continued on until law enforcement would have shown up and then eventually had a shootout and killed him. And who knows who else would have been killed in the process, or however many people would die before the cops showed up. Now, consider this. Had this guy realized that somebody in that apartment complex was armed and ready to take him out, he probably wouldn't have done it. People that want to commit crimes are likely going to commit crimes. They're just going to figure out how to do it. The people that are likely to stop these individuals from doing it are the ones that actually, like the gentleman in the story, is a Good Samaritan. Now, if I'm carrying and something like that happens, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to also be a part of the intervention to stop somebody from harming other people. Think logically. Turn the fucking news off. From these mainstream channels, because they're not going to tell you about this stuff. The likelihood they actually do bring this up is next to not likely at all. Although we have broke stories before and the media picks it up weeks later, like the event, the carjacking from the teenage girls that ended up killing the Uber driver in Washington, DC. So understand what you're voting for. And if you feel like you're emotionally charged before you cast your vote, you may want to take a step back, research as much as you can before you start telling other people they don't have the right to protect themselves. Oh, and I want to give a special shout out to my friend Jenny. Thank you again. Occasionally it is still built into my lay ass person statements to call a magazine a clip. But I promise you that I am working on it. And clip goes in your hair, magazine goes in your gun. Oh, I have it. Yes. And another one that was coming from Jenny, if anything, if this does get reported, it'll likely be reported with a slant where they try to create some sort of positive narrative around the person going around trying to, or that was out to kill people, and refer to him as being a good person or whatever. But yeah, who the hell knows? I will say that I can definitely, in my life, in my own experience, and also from what I'm seeing, there is a revival of the American spirit taking place, and people are getting fed up with a lot of these restrictions, measures, and also the way that, pretty much the average American is being portrayed to be this ignorant and uneducated individual that only cares about their guns, and all the rest of the other stupid narratives that are out there. This is coming from a non-party affiliate. Whenever I say this, the left has lost their fucking mind. So with that, I don't have anything else to say about it, but I did want to make sure that I read that on the show today, because you're not going to hear about that on the mainstream news. You can't even find that easily on Google. I had to use DuckDuckGo just so that I could get past all of the bullshit that layers to people's exhaustion, because there are times whenever there are things that get buried in the search options, so that you are more exhausted whenever it goes to looking for it, so you're less likely to find it and just assume that it doesn't exist. So that's one of the reasons why I like using DuckDuckGo, because it is not filtered with a search engine optimization such as Google does. So, or Yahoo search or Bing, and those, I'm not a fan of any one of those. I'll use them just so I understand what the people that are educated by the mainstream media is typically using for their search, so I can understand what they're going through and try to redirect them as we find out that they're brainwashed. So anyway, I got nothing else to say about that. Got anything there, Joshua?
Yeah, so I'd like to remind everyone that Florida has more concealed weapons permits than any state. So there's more concealed weapons being held in our state than anywhere else in the US. And I thought that was crazy. When I took my concealed weapons permit class, the instructors told us that fact, and also that the majority of shootings or incidences that happen in the state are actually stopped by concealed weapon holders instead of law enforcement. I thought that was pretty interesting, and made me really happy to hear that we live in a state where there are so many people who carry and that are responsible with their firearm. It makes me want to train more. I need to, and this is something that if you're a shooter, I think that it's valuable information. If you do have your concealed weapons permit, make sure that you go and train. And what I mean by train is not go to the firing range and just shooting down range. Get in situations, and I still, again, have to get better and do more. Get in situations where you have like an elevated heart rate. There's some like more intense classes you can take that will kind of get you in that state of mind and that physical being that you need to be, that you will be in a situation if you need to use your firearm. So make sure we get the training and keep it coming. It's your right. If you're legally able to possess a firearm, why not take advantage of such an amazing right that we have as a nation, that there are so many countries across the world that would do anything to have that right. So yeah, awesome to hear. Keep standing up for the good guys, and let's take these psychopaths that don't mind shooting at people asleep in their house that are defenseless, but would think twice, like Chad said, if they knew someone around the corner had a firearm. And in this state, there's a lot of them, Chad.
Yes. Just keep in mind, these sick individuals choose to go to schools for a reason. So with that, schools are known to be safe spaces and gun-free zones. Just keep in mind, people, that if somebody wants to cause you harm, you have the right to defend yourself. So, don't make yourself an easier target by voting for stupid rules or stupid laws. And whenever your rights are being threatened, you really should speak up. If you don't understand what your rights are, keep tuning into this show. We'll help you understand that in time. And if you haven't already done it, do it with me here. Go to the channel, Waking the People, on YouTube and on Rumble, and on is it IRL?
Soon, yes. Our email. You can email us.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. Give us feedback. Give us some topics you want to hear. Chad and I just try to pick what we think are some of the best topics, the most topics that at least we see in our lives and interact with. So we love the feedback. Continue the feedback. Can't stress it enough. Tell us what you think.
Yep. Subscribe, like it, or don't if you're that one son of a bitch that keeps going along and disliking our videos.
I like it.
That's all right. You hating helps you. You watching. Keep it up. Yeah. And share it with your friends. Share it, leave comments. You could always send us an email to the email address that we have. We're happy to take them. And also, again, start a conversation with people in your life with our videos. And tune into the next episode. We're going to be doing another one tomorrow evening. So with that, that's what I got for today in our show. Joshua, you got anything else in closing?
No, just stay golden, pony boy. We'll see y'all tomorrow, hump day, Tuesday episode. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hope we got some good topics for you. So have a good night. See you on the flip flop.
Yeah, that's a nice change. And just remember, everyone, we're Americans. It's about time we act like it. And with that, we're in this together. So catch us on the next one. All right. Sir Chad Everett Brochures signing out with that dastardly good-looking man only Prince would sing about, Joshua, your patriot, my Kraken McClendon. Stay pony, golden boy. Well, just fuck it up any which way you want. We'll catch you next time.